Welcome to another riveting episode of Home Sweet Home, only right here on Business Access TV. I am Whitney McCoy. Now, Jamaica's premier real estate conference, Throp-X, is back for its third edition this year. From November 17th to the 22nd, from the scenic views of the Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Winthrop Wellington, and this team will be bringing us 7 days, you heard that, 7 days worth of non-stop informative content with special focus on real estate, finance, and agriculture. We'll be seeing speakers from all sectors. Here to tell us more about it, it's founder Winthrop Wellington. All right, so can you share with us the vision behind the Throp-X Investment Conference and what exactly inspired its inception?
Sure. So the Throp-X Investment Conference really was a spin-off of my YouTube channel and the community that I created over the last few years. And essentially how that started is I was sharing my story of moving from New York to Jamaica, joining my family's business, and really telling the story of the ups and downs and challenges of making that transition, and then also showing people that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it as well. And then I realized that some people probably couldn't relate necessarily to me, young Black American moving from New York to Jamaica, but perhaps they could relate to, say, somebody who was born in Jamaica and had their career in the UK, and then just hearing different types of people who have made Jamaica their home, their new home. And so after growing that community and sharing these stories and really showing that Jamaica really is a viable place to live and to thrive and to have, in my opinion, a really, really good life, we decided as a community, like, hey, let's bring this forum to the real life, to the real world. Hence, Throp-X was born. And this really came out of my live streams that I do every week. And as a community, we came up with different ideas and different speakers that we wanted to have come. And many times on the podcast, the guests that I've had have been experts in real estate, in banking, and mortgages, and really the people who help facilitate a move that you would do anywhere in the world. I had them on the podcast, and we ended up bringing those people to my investment conference that we host every November here in Negril at Travelers Beach Resort. And so that is kind of how the idea got birthed. And we are very fortunate enough to be in the third stage, the third annual event of this conference.
Awesome. And so it's the third staging. It's as it always been in the grill.
Always been in the grill. And one of the thinking behind that is that I believe, I'm obviously very biased, but I believe there's so much potential with Negril, and we are just this diamond in the rough, just screaming to reach its potential. And I try to use my platform to show people of the possibilities here and the opportunities that exist in Negril. And the conference itself is not fully focused on Negril. It is really hopefully inspiring and opening the eyes of people to invest in Jamaica as a whole. The realtors that I have coming, being on the panels, they are from all over Jamaica, really telling us inside information of what is hot in this area, what is slowing down in that area, and really giving a holistic view of Jamaica as an investment opportunity. And then we do have a real estate tour that is part of the conference, which is mainly based in Negril, like traveling around Negril, showing different commercial and residential properties that are for sale. But this year we are actually extending it to Montego Bay with our platinum sponsorship with the Pinnacle. And we're extending the conference one day. So on November 23rd, we're actually going to be taking a few buses from Negril to Montego Bay to visit the Pinnacle construction site, and people will be able to see exactly what's happening, get an update on what's going on with that development, and learn all about it. So that's one of the biggest differences with this year's event.
Oh, great. And so what makes that we've had conferences before? What distinguishes topics from other real estate conferences or would say investment conferences?
I would say this is for sure, it is a premium conference. This is not, it's not cheap by any means. And we are more quality over quantity. Like we are tapping out at 50 people max in person. The
Mm-hmm.
live streams that we have, anybody can join. There is no limit on that, but it's going to be 50 people. And these are 50 very serious people who are ready to invest, but they're just looking for the opportunity and looking for help in facilitating whatever their dream is that they're looking to accomplish. And I think one of the best things about this conference that has been underestimated in the last few years is the quality of the attendees. The networking is top tier. And I'm really, really proud of the people who come, specifically the attendees, yes, but
Mm-hmm.
then also the speakers, like extremely knowledgeable, top of their game in their different industries. And I'm very happy to bring and blend those people together. So I think that that is one of definitely the highlights of this is just the premium people who are going to be in attendance and also just so ready to invest. And even last year, this is just an example of just how ready people are when they come to this conference. Is last year we did a tour of a hotel that was for sale, and a group of the people who were at the conference got together, pooled their
Mm-hmm.
money, and purchased this hotel.
Wow.
And they were strangers. They didn't know each other, but they were part of this Throp community. And
Mm-hmm.
again, people were ready. They are ready. I always say and telling people, come with your checkbooks, come with your checkbooks. And this is the caliber of people. This is the mindset of the people who are attending. And I would say I would say a large majority of the people, I won't put a number on it, a large majority of the people who are coming to this conference, they are ready to make a purchase. They're ready to make a down payment on a piece of property, a piece of real estate, but they're just looking for the opportunity. They want to understand the landscape. And I know there are that same group who bought the hotel last year, they're coming back as more of a solidified investment group to do it again. And there's others who either want to be a part of that group or are looking to start their own investment group based on this conference.
Okay, so the networking opportunities are limitless, it seems. When it comes to speakers, though, can you tell us a little bit about the lineup for this year?
Sure. So I will start with like the most popular panels, right? And so what we realize, and this is just coming from the content that I'm creating of learning about what the market wants and what people who are, excuse me, what people who are looking to move to Jamaica, what they're looking for. And so we discovered that one of the main things is there's this fear of doing construction on a dream home or purchasing real estate while you're abroad. And we hear these horror stories of people just losing their shirt, losing their money, either sending money down to family or, construction worker that they know,
Mhm.
and they just lose everything. And so we wanted to address that and we continue to address that like really, really head on. So one of the most popular panels that we have is our construction panel. And that literally is made up of a landscape architect, a quantity survey, which is a very crucial, important part of the
Right.
construction team. And most people overlook it or they say it's too expensive. But
Mhm.
my goodness, from what I've learned in doing this in the last few years, I would not do a construction project without having a QS on board as part of my team. Then you have the contractor who's actually doing the construction, and then we have your traditional architect as well. And so like that is a very popular panel that we're bringing back this year because it was just so great. And then we have a series of realtors who are going to be there who again are top of their game and know the market very well and have an understanding of what is available, again, not just in Negril and the Negril area but all over Jamaica. So we have a multitude of those different types of professionals. And then uh, within the financing aspect, like people are also looking for financing in terms of mortgages. And we also realize that people who are living abroad didn't know that they have access to local financing here in Jamaica and just getting an understanding of what the qualifications are. And we're also happy to be partnering with actually VMBS, who's come on board because one of the aspects of this conference that we realized is the last 2 years, people were taking days out of the conference to go open up a bank account. and they were missing out. Like, but this is again to show you how serious people are. It's like once they know that they need a bank account and they need a TRN to do any type of business, they're going to go and do it. And so even with the TRN, we had people go down to the tax administration office to sign up and get their TRN. So, but this year, what we're doing is we're trying to have all of those service on site. So we've partnered also with the tax administration office of Jamaica, and you'll be able to sign up for your TRN right on the spot. You don't have to leave the facilities. And same thing with the banking. You'll be able to sign up for your checking account right on the spot with VMBS. And you'll have these tools that, again, put you in a much further position to get things going with your investment, your dream home, or whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. So that's like I would say the getting business done day that is gonna happen during the week. And then the second day of panels of educations, which is also available on the virtual ticket platform, is the business and lifestyle day. And realize that people are looking to start businesses in Jamaica and they want to understand what the business landscape, the entrepreneurial landscape is like here. And so we have a variety of different experts. So we have the Companies Office of Jamaica. I mentioned the Tax Administration Office of Jamaica. JAMPRO is going to be there as well. And really the Planning Authority is going to be there as well. So it's just we're trying to give you as much information on what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur in the current Jamaica that we have here today, so you can be successful in the future. And then we also have successful entrepreneurs who are going to be at the conference and then also be on panels as well. So you could learn firsthand what it's like to run a business in Jamaica, the ups, the downs, the positives, the negatives, directly from people who are doing it and are successful at it. And hopefully you'll be able to learn from them and get a lot of confidence in starting your own business here in Jamaica.
And so we know that usually with these conferences, people come and they meet each other, but the opportunities, they probably don't have as long-lasting relationships. What is Throp-X doing to facilitate long-lasting relationships that might be built there? Is there a WhatsApp group, as a Slack channel? What exactly are we doing to facilitate that?
Great question. And it's so funny, like there have been so many offshoot groups that even from year one, they still exist today within WhatsApp groups and online groups. And I feel like they've facilitated or helped create lifelong relationships with each other. And that's like one of the most beautiful things about this, and that one of the highest things that I'm so proud of with this conference is like developing these relationships serendipitously just by having this conference. Second to that is my live streams, and that's how I really keep people together. So right now I'm doing 2 live streams every week, and on Fridays and Sundays. Sundays I do it all throughout the year. Every week, pretty much on Sunday, I'll do a live stream. And this is a way for not only me to connect with my community and stay in touch with them, but also for the community to come together and to sometimes tackle really tough issues that are even outside of investing, but some social issues that we may be having in Jamaica, and having these tough conversations with each other. And then on top of that, I do have a Patreon group that I meet with every month, which is like one of the funnest aspects of my job, if you will, and what I'm doing. And it's basically a Zoom call that we have it's about 15 of us, and we just sit down and have a conversation about like whatever. And it's just like us hanging out for an hour and a half, 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon. And that's another way that we really stay in touch and make sure that we're keeping the community together.
Awesome. And in your opinion, per se, as someone that's been doing this for a few years, what are the most promising sectors within Jamaica's real estate market right now, as in this year?
Great question. And I would say there's a diversity of opportunities, right? So I'm traditionally a hotelier, so we can start with the hotel industry, hospitality industry. And there is so much foreign direct investment that's coming into the hotel space that I've never seen before. And I've said this, I remember saying this like 3, 4 years ago and saying
Mhm.
like, oh my goodness, I can't believe these tens of hundreds of millions of US dollars are coming into Jamaica and building out Jamaica's hospitality sector at this rate. And I feel like even in 2024 and beyond, we have surpassed the level of surprise I was a few years ago. And I was like, it can't get much better, bigger, faster than this. And yet
Right.
here we are. And especially along the North Coast, you're seeing incredible, incredible developments. Even here in Hanover, Negril, Westmoreland, in Green Island with the Princess Hotel and having the largest hotel in all of Jamaica. And there continues to be more just record-breaking, record-smashing in terms of amounts of money coming into these different facilities. And to me, as again, as a hotelier, this breeds or tells me there's a lot of confidence in the market about Jamaica and about Jamaican hospitality. And so even scaling it down to, I would say, even a mom and pop level or a small hotel level, I think there's great opportunity in hospitality if that's something that you are looking to do or a
Right.
dream of yours. And as we know, Negril is the small hotel capital of Jamaica, maybe even the Caribbean. And I think there's a lot of opportunities there. Even kind of going back to the conference, we're doing a real estate tour on the Wednesday, and I'm looking at the list of properties that we're going to, and we've never had this many hotels on our list. We've never had this many beachfront hotels on our list. So we seem to be in some sort of transitionary phase, particularly when it comes to commercial properties, commercial hotels. And I haven't necessarily put my finger on as to why that is and why that's happening now, but there is relatively large amount of hotels that we have on this list to the point where we're going to have to cut some out, as a matter of fact. And so, moving more into the residential side of things, that
Mhm.
too, we're seeing a huge uptick in in housing units. And this is both by local Jamaican investors, developers, and also foreign developers. And it's it's incredible to see this type of attention on Jamaica, and this type of attention to the need of housing. And we know that this is something that we need, and I could speak specifically Hanover, Westmoreland, like we need more development, we need more housing development here, both all the way from affordable housing up to luxury housing. And I always say we don't, specifically in Negril, we don't have middle income housing here at all. Like, I won't go as far as sensationalizing it and calling it a housing crisis, but it's
Right.
definitely something that we do need here. And it's mind-boggling that we haven't had any significant presence of developers, even Jamaican developers. I know there are a lot in Kingston coming here and
Right.
recognizing the need that's here. But we have one and two that are sprinkling up that I'm happy to know and happy to see.
Awesome. Because, like Westmoreland, it's kind of, well, I don't want to say the forgotten parish, but not a lot of development takes place down that side. It's mostly focused on the North Coast and Kingston on a whole. But what are some of the challenges that you see that the real estate market might be experiencing now? Because looking at these real estate prices, they are a little bit high. What are some of the challenges that you think the market is facing at the moment?
So I will say, and it's a great question because I'm actually going to be talking about this on my live stream tomorrow. And the thing is, like, so let's deal with a sector, an area like Kingston, for example. And
Mhm.
I'm seeing, especially in the new housing development, the rental prices. I'm like actually shocked. And like seriously, I'm like, these are New York City prices
Yes,
that are being
definitely.
charged. And I'm like, who is renting this? I mean, like and it's something that I have to look into a little bit more in terms
Mhm.
of the salaries, right? And they say if you're say like a good economic steward of your own personal finances, right? You
Mhm.
shouldn't really be going above 30% of your monthly income spending on your rent or your mortgage. And I saw one for like, I think it was a two-bedroom for 3,000 US,
Yeah.
3,100 US per month.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what? It doesn't really make sense. And it doesn't seem, at least how I know the market and understand the market, I don't know how many traditional jobs or jobs are paying that sort of salary where, you're I mean, you got to be in the six figures to be paying that kind of money every single month.
Maybe seven.
And you're how big is that market, right? How big is that market? And I also start to think and like extrapolate, right? If you have like a lot of these new constructions that are coming in at that price point and then also taking up space, and where are those buildings going to stay empty? Are you filling them? Because what I'm understanding is like they are not really being rented at any sort of great rate. I could be wrong, but this is just what I'm hearing from people
Yeah.
on the ground. And then where are the working people, the average working person who
Mm.
has, I would say, a good job? Like, where are they living and where can they afford to live, specifically on rents, right? And so these are the sort of questions that I want understanding of. And when you do the math, I'm just like, who is paying for these and how are they renting? Even from a developer standpoint, it doesn't necessarily seem like a good investment. But like let's bring that back to Negril, right? And so we're more of a tourism town than anything else. And we have a lot of people like in the winter who will come down and spend 4 months, 5 months here. These are the snowbirds who are, let's say, American and from abroad and who can afford to pay and are used to paying $2,000, $3,000 a month per on rent. And we have that. And so the market is able to afford that. And then you combine that with scarcity of inventory. Of course, it comes down to a supply and demand situation. And so I know in Kingston, like that doesn't seem to be the same equation as far as I understand it. And so that
Right.
makes the question. And again, I'm trying to understand that. But yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum for me, I'd say.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're empty because the average Jamaican wouldn't be able to afford. They're probably not even making $3,000 a month to afford one of
Mhm.
those $3,000 a month apartments. So yes, it's definitely a conundrum, as you would say. It's definitely a
Right.
conundrum.
But I will say I understand is like every housing development is not going to be for everybody, right?
Mm.
And so for sure, is there a market for people who can afford $3,000 a month? Without question, without question. But my question is, what percentage of inventory is supplying that aspect of the market? And to me, it seems like a disproportionate amount of the inventory is built and geared towards that market. And it's just like, all right, we just need to be a little careful of that. I could be totally wrong with that, but just kind of outside looking in, that's what it seems. And so as you ask about like opportunity with real estate, I think like the mid-level market is just wide open because so many developers are so focused on luxury. And
Right.
that's all you're seeing, like
Right.
mainly, at least that's what you're hearing is like this luxury development, that luxury development. And I'm just like, yeah, and especially since I'd also like to add, like, especially since like so many developers are going luxury. Now, if you're going luxury, like it better be luxury. It
Luxury,
better be luxury.
luxury.
Because I've seen developments they call them luxury, but it's not luxury. And this is coming from the perspective of somebody like, I grew up in New York. I go to New York a lot, travel the world, and I know what luxury is from like a global perspective. And you could feel it when you walk in with the
Mm.
appliances, the countertop, the amenities that the facilities have. And my opinion, you don't want to be, oh, this is luxury for Jamaica. That's not the world that we live in today. We live in a globalized economy, and people who are coming, and especially like the client level of this type, I bet you they are world traveled as well, and they understand what true luxury is. And so, when the developers are coming with these luxury developments, again, they better be luxury because there are developers who are in the market right now under construction who are bringing true luxury to the market. And it'll be hurtful if you're not able to kind of deliver on that promise of luxury.
I saw this meme today while I was scrolling through social media. Someone was like, I can't wait for the real estate market to crash. But I'm just thinking, with all these prices and these up pricing, and everybody is just only developing luxury apartments, luxury condos, what does that say for the market?
So the funny thing about Jamaica, right? It's such a unique market. And you can't, even with that statement, I can't wait for the market to crash. When you look back at even the history of Jamaican real estate market and go back to even the financial crisis, 2007, 2008, Jamaican real estate really wasn't affected like that. And we're not built on the same platform that the US is like. So without getting too much into the details of like how the US market crashed, it was because of these mortgage-backed securities that were sitting on different tranches, which were garbage. And once that was figured out, then the whole entire system crashed, right? And so as far as I know, like the financing of Jamaica and also even getting a mortgage, it's not like that. And I'm not saying that if we have like from a banking perspective, mortgage perspective, if we had an incredible amount of defaults on mortgages, like everything is still going to be the same. Like, no, because like even to get a mortgage in Jamaica, like it's crazy, the process, right? It's not like the US where they were just giving them out left, right, and center, and you were on paper, you were financially unqualified to have a 30-year mortgage and paying $2,000 a month for this mortgage, and the bank still gives it to you. Like that's predatory, and they should have really had the consumers back at the end of the day. Jamaica, it's not like that. It's very, very stringent, and you go through a lot to get your mortgage. And so I'm not going to say like it can't happen, but from a consumer standpoint, it's definitely not something that I would bank on and be waiting on if you're looking to buy a home. And I would also even say that, buying a home isn't necessarily always the best idea for everyone. And what I've also been seeing is folks, especially young folks, mostly in America, who are having this post-mortem regret on purchasing their home. And they essentially become house poor, right? And
Right.
they are able to qualify for these homes. And this could be even possibly happening here. They qualify to buy their home. They purchase their home. They're paying their mortgage, and they don't realize or didn't realize that they're kind of just right on that cusp. Like we talked earlier about, yeah, you don't want 30% of your monthly income, any more than 30% of your monthly income going towards paying your rent or paying your mortgage. And so maybe they're just right on that line, but then all of a sudden, like a pipe bust or something happens and you have to do repairs on your house. And that's more money that's coming out of your pocket that you got to take care of, that if you were renting, you wouldn't have that expense. And these folks that have good jobs, these are professionals, right? And they are regretting it because they've lost their freedom. They've lost financial freedom because they're putting all this money into their home and they're stuck in a 30-year mortgage and they can't move. And forget about it. You have a couple of kids there as well. Your vacations that you were taking when you were single and renting an apartment and you didn't have to worry about monthly house expenses. Now you're not doing anything. Now you're literally working to live. So I always tell people it's just something to really think about. And I think I know in Jamaica, like owning a home, owning your own place is like a real dream of many people. And I think it's a great one. But I think sometimes we just need to sit back a little bit. Like, let's do the math. Like, is now the best time for me to own a home? And like, is this going to hold me back from achieving my full potential, my full financial potential? If I take this great, actually here, you don't really have like a large initial down payment, thankfully, but even still, you take this down payment that you have to give, and then next thing you know, you're 30 years in this, and it could be something that holds you back. And I would just advocate of like, hey, let's do this math, and sometimes maybe you gotta wait a little bit longer till you're in a better financial position to do it.
Awesome. All right. So from the 17th to the 22nd, Throp-X, it's gonna be at the Travelers Beach Resort. That's correct?
That's
All
right.
right. So that's 5 days, 5 days worth of nonstop conference, focusing on financing and real estate on a whole. All right.
Right.
So
And
anything else?
yes, I was going to say, we added two things. Like we extended the conference one more day to do that visit to the Pinnacle. So it's actually on the 23rd, and that's included in your conference ticket. There's no additional cost to that whatsoever. And then another big aspect that we changed up this year is that we are partnering with ATL Automotive, and we are doing the first electric car show here in Negril. And
Nice.
the idea behind that is that one, the theme of the conference is sustainable development. And as Jamaica grows and prospers, and I truly, truly, truly believe in the trajectory that Jamaica is on and us as a people and a country reaching our full potential, we want to do it in a sustainable way. And with the people moving to Jamaica and eventually calling Jamaica their home, we understood that they're going to need a vehicle to get around it. And
Mhm.
I thought it was a perfect partnership to be working with ATL Automotive. So they're going to be bringing their best electric and hybrid vehicles to Negril. It's just a great opportunity. It's a free event for the community, as a matter of fact. And that'll be on
Right.
the 21st of November. So anybody could come out and you can sit in the vehicles, touch them, feel what it's like and understand, because I think it's like so important that we move in this direction, in the sustainable direction. And I know there's like a lot of fear from people like, I don't want my car to run out of battery on the middle of the road. And I'm gonna do my absolute best to dispel just so much of those stereotypes, and this really show that the likelihood of that happening is just very low. These cars are beautiful. I sat in them, I drove
Mhm.
some of them, and I can't wait for people to sit in them and feel them. And another great aspect of it is that financing institutions are going to be there to help you understand what your opportunities are in getting electric vehicle financing to afford these cars. And so I'm really excited that that's happening, and we're bringing that to the community.
All right, great. So, should someone want to probably like be there, how can they find more information on topics? Where can they purchase a ticket and all that?
Sure, great question. You can go to Throp-X.com. It has all the information there. You can purchase your tickets there. And if you want the most up-to-date information, you can follow us on Instagram at Throp-X.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Winthrop, for taking the time out to feature us on our home sweet home feature today. We will see you in the grill on the 17th. So it's 6 days now. Six
Yeah,
days,
that's right.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So see you in the grill on the 17th for another riveting staging of this premier real estate conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.